Hi guys, it's MARKABUSI here and we're back with another song reaction, and today we're going to be doing the song Stimela by Hugh Masekela. I did Abengoma. I'll be honest, it absolutely exceeded expectations. All of the comments is telling me that in order to see the best of Hugh, am I allowed to call him Bra Hugh? I feel like that's like a South African thing and I don't know, I feel like I don't know him well enough to get away with calling him Bra Hugh, but I also feel like that gives me a wee bit of a level, it gives me a level of intimacy with the guy. I'm trying to jumpstart it and get more friendly with the guy than what I really deserve to be. So I'm going to call him Bra Hugh. Use guys in the comments when if you really want to see the height of Bra Hugh, you need to do the song Stimela. Like literally all the fucking comments was Stimela, do it guys. And I'm like, right, I normally only do what people in my Twitch channel request from me, but I decided to go and do this one off my own back for you guys because I like building up different pockets of communities, and this was my first kind of toe in the water of South African jazz music, and you guys have been absolutely fucking lovely, and so I feel like you kind of deserve it a wee bit. But what I want is, if this is like the pinnacle of Hugh Masekela, then in the comments give me more South African musicians to check out, because I kind of want to hear more of this stuff because it's really interesting to me, but I don't know anything to go and check out. So the more that you guys can give me, the better. That way I get an education and you get to sit back and see a complete fucking like idiot's guide to listening to South African jazz music. I feel like that's a win-win situation for both of us. So let's do that.
Hello, Lugano. Come on, are you serious with that response?
Yes.
Damn, wait. I mean, Lugano, we've seen you on television. The whole world knows they are a very noisy people. So don't try to be cool just because we come from Africa.
Yes.
Don't be afraid that we might go back to Africa and tell them that, hey, the people in Lugano can really be savage. It's okay, we're on your side. And then, maybe some of you have never made noise in your life. And this could be a very big moment for you. This could be your coming out night. You know, hang on. And in many places here, especially where it's dark, nobody will see you. So you can scream as loud as possible because there's no ceiling to bring down. Now,
The man's crowd control is fucking exceptional. That's fucking brilliant. Like the first couple of songs from Hugh that I've done, he's a really like exceptional musician. This is actually just really good at showcasing the sheer fucking charisma off the guy and the stage presence of him. This is brilliant. He's funny, he's commanding. This is great. Also, like, I know it's quite simple, but the chords in the background, lovely. This is just really like actual kind of perfect audience participation fucking shit from a live performer.
I'm gonna pump you up one more time, Lugano, and I want to hear the mountains shake when you scream. Are you ready? Hello, Lugano!
Yes.
God damn it! Trying to be cool. Okay, now that you feel loose, I'd just like to dedicate this song to all those people we see on television who are always running and falling and hiding and scrambling and dying, running away from wars that have been started by very stark, raving, crazy men who either put themselves in power or they were put there in power by the very people who are running away. We see them with bundles on television and we just shake our heads and sigh. I don't know what happened to us, the human beings, but we seem to have lost our sense of outrage that we had in the 60s and 70s. Yep. And now we just look at our laptop and shake our heads. But we'd like to dedicate this song especially to...
I'm going to disagree with that. I'm going to disagree with that to an extent. I distinctly remember when Britain joined the US and going to war with Iraq after 9/11. There was no complaints about us going to war with Afghanistan because that's where bin Laden was and that's where at the time Al-Qaeda was, right? So everybody understood that. But the moment that the US shifted their position to go on invading Iraq, everybody knew it was a power play. We knew that they had conjured up the WMDs and it was an excuse to go in and just do what they do. And we went along with it. And there was massive fucking protests on the streets. There have been massive protests regarding Israel and Palestine. Massive protests regarding Ukraine. I don't believe that the general population has lost its passion for protesting about the indignities that despots and elected governments are doing around the world. I think those same governments have done an amazing job of positioning the blame for all of like our struggles on immigrants, specifically mostly refugees that are coming from the countries that they're bombing. Like, in what position does the UK have to complain about refugees that are coming from the Middle East when we are responsible for having disrupted the Middle East to the point where they need to do that? I think the difference is these days, politicians are no longer scared of the general public. Back in the 60s, I think the government held on to the belief that they had been put into power by the population and so therefore they served the public. And if the public were that unhappy with them, then that made a difference to how they felt about things. Whereas nowadays, I think that the government looks on us as fucking idiots that they can do whatever they want to and they don't really give a fuck about our opinion on stuff. I think we can go and protest as much as possible and I don't think it makes a difference. Because, for example, in the UK, we have a thing where if we get like a government petition and it manages to get 100,000 signatures, then it needs to be discussed in Parliament and it needs to be taken seriously by the politicians in Parliament. I can't remember the exact details of exact ones, but I know for a fact that there was at least a dozen petitions during the Tories' reign that managed to get over 100,000 signatures and were routinely just thrown out of Parliament. They weren't discussed because they didn't want to. They didn't care. They didn't care that we liked it or not. He has also got a point about today with the modern age of the internet and stuff, it's very, very easy to have an apathy towards stuff that's happening in other countries. You look at it and you go, oh, that's shocking. Back to TikTok. I think our attention spans are being ruined and it's harder to concentrate on stuff like that. There's also such a wealth of information getting thrown at you that it's really, really difficult to focus your outrage on one specific thing. I think like it was easy in the 70s to focus your outrage on Vietnam because that was everywhere and it was the only thing really, like that and Watergate, which I think is technically linked to Vietnam, I suspect. You could singularly get people onto that one issue, whereas now you've got so much information coming at you because of the internet that it's really difficult to focus your energies on all of it. You know what I mean? Like you've got your own life to live. You can't spend your entire time protesting. There's too much stuff for you to be able to sit there and galvanize a massive support behind one particular issue. So you just don't. It means so much stuff slips through the cracks because of it, and it's frustrating. But I don't know. I don't have a solution for it. He's not 100% wrong. I just feel like it's not that folks don't care. It's just that it's too difficult to get heard these days en masse.
The people of Darfur, the people of Somalia, the people of Myanmar, Burma, the people of Sri Lanka, of Haiti, all those people in Chad and Niger, and all those people who are recovering in Chechnya, in South Africa, in Zimbabwe, in the Congo, in Angola, in Namibia, in Mozambique. Let's just wish that with a prayer that we can send out from all of you when you're at home in your bubble bath and you're really feeling good. I'm just asking you to send out a prayer for all those people out there so that maybe one day soon the people that they put in office will be there to serve them instead of serve themselves.
So I think that the problem is that I'm coming at this from a Westerner who doesn't know that much about the geopolitical problems of Africa. I don't know the stuff that's happening in Africa. I don't know the dictators, and I don't know where the genocides are happening. I know that there are genocides happening, and I know that there are dictators, and I know that there are skirmishes between different countries and stuff. And I know that we did a massive push with Live Aid to kind of try and help Africa, and I haven't heard much in the way of anything to that extent happening recently. So I think that's what he's talking about rather than like the world as a whole. I think he is specifically speaking about Africa and trying to get people to remember that Africa has its problems that they could kind of do with some help towards, which is a shame really, because what the fuck did happen there? We clearly didn't fix all the fucking problems. So why have we just abandoned it? I don't think we have a wholesale abandoned it. Africa's not on the news anymore over here. I feel like there is a lot of shit around the world that the Western populace just don't know about, and I think a lot of that lies at the hands of the media. It's their job to inform us of world events, and I think that they just deliberately choose not to because it's not sexy enough to sell.
There's a train that comes from Namibia and Malawi. There's a train that comes from Zambia and Zimbabwe. There's a train that comes from Angola and Mozambique, from Lesotho, from Botswana, from Swaziland, from all the hinterlands of Southern and Central Africa. This train carries young and old African men who are conscripted to come and work on contract in the gold and mineral mines of Johannesburg and the surrounding provinces and metropoli. 16 hours or more a day for almost no pay. Deep! 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 belly of the earth, when they are digging and drilling for that shiny, mighty, evasive stone, or when they dish that mishmash mash food into their iron plates with the iron shovel, or when they sit in their stinky, filthy, funky, flea-ridden barracks and hostels, and they think about the loved ones they may never see again because they might already been forcibly removed from where they last left them, or wantonly murdered in the dead of night by roving and marauding gangs of no particular origin. So we are told. They think about their lands and their herds that were taken away from them with the gun and the cannon, with the collaborator and the dog and the tear gas and the poison, with the bomb and the Gatling. And when they hear that choo-choo train, smoking and pushing and climbing and hustling and crying and moaning and tooting, steaming and crying and moaning and pushing and grumbling and climbing and crying and screaming and screeching and they always cuss and they curse the coal train that brought them to Johannesburg, Stimela.
That's fucking incredible. Using the cowbell to represent the steam train, also at one point to represent the drill down the mine. He's telling a really, really important and powerful and frankly fucking harrowing tale of what it's like for Africans at the moment, and somehow is using a cowbell to punctuate that story, but also I don't know why, right? But the cowbell just makes it all so much more real. I was not prepared for this. I thought I was getting like happy kind of jazz number that just happened to be really long. I didn't realise I was getting into like fucking like deeply fucking troubling political statement. Fuck me, that's nice. This is beautiful. This is legitimately fucking a beautiful. Yes. Okay. Wait, why are you saying Star Spangled Banner? Did I miss something? How did I not see that the first time round? Yeah. Fuck me. The problem I've got is, right, at that point when he's come in, I was thinking they've managed to pick the two of the saddest fucking piano chords possible. There only has two chords in the entire song, and they've picked the two saddest piano chords to go together, and then from there have then just layered on such beautiful, beautiful melodies throughout all their instrumentation. Like the guitar work earlier was absolutely astonishingly nice, but it was like so laced with sadness. And then he's come in, and at that point, I hadn't really been paying. I was listening to it, but it didn't occur to me that he is playing the Star Spangled Banner, and that's almost like he's sending a message to America to go, "Hi, we're still fucking here. This shit's still happening." Like this is less a song. In fact, it's not a song. This is entirely just his way of saying to America, and by extension, I'm going to say also probably the UK, "Hi, remember us?" I was not ready for this tonight. Yeah. Okay.
hambanga malate siveleta la kubai sangela tawa kuqa hebabe bathi sizumba malahle zuma malahle Stimela babo sihamba ngamalahle sivelethana kupa yo helele sangilahlanga kuqa babe bathi sizumba malahle yo Pesa windan Stimela Chido Sitani Jengesi Kasi yelele mame Let me go to you Stimela Chido Sikaneni Sito Bose tu Ololuma Asibu yelele kala Kaneni
That genuinely might be one of the best vocal performances I've ever fucking heard. The sheer raw fucking passion through that entire section there was unbelievable. Like, I didn't want to pause it during the horn section, right, because it was really interesting. I felt like I didn't catch all the references in it, but I feel like it was kind of laced with references to other countries to kind of maybe call them out a little bit. So I didn't want to pause that out of respect. And then he started singing, and I don't understand anything that he's saying. I don't speak South African, right? I didn't understand it. It's the kind of vocal performance that kind of transcends language a bit. You don't really need to understand it, what he's actually saying, to understand the intent of it. I had chills the entire way through that there. That was nuts. And then they've calmed it down here to bring in these absolutely gorgeous harmonies, and yeah, it's just this is astonishing. Stimela, sihamba ngamalahle, siveleta la kubai. how do you speak about that? Like, that was less just a song, and it was more a statement, fucking powerful statement that I only got the tiniest amount out of. I'll be honest. What I need for you guys is today is in the comments. Can you explain to me the nuances of that song that I missed? All the singing, I don't know what he was saying, so I've definitely missed that. I feel that there's a lot of information packed into that performance. Me and my ignorance, I don't get, but I would like to. So someone left a comment on my Abangoma video saying that I should not be reacting to South African music unless I have knowledge of the political background and the geographical background of the area. How dare I react to that? I could, right? I absolutely could just go and like read it myself and look it up. Okay, I could do that, but and this isn't specifically about South Africa. This is what I've done for, like, I've done this for Japan, and I've done it for like the Americas, specifically South America. I like to kind of go in, find a song from an area, react to it, and then the people from that area, we can then start like a kind of almost like a conversation where you just come into the comments, you tell me stuff. I read all the comments. I read all of the comments. I take in as much of the information that I can. I use that to inform my next reaction. In that regard, you teach me stuff that you want me to know about your heritage and area, and I then go in and react to music that you love. I'll learn a bit more about your area, and I'll get a bit more of a kind of feel and a bit more of respect for it, because it means you guys get to interact a wee bit with it. I get stuff out of it as well, and I feel like that's a nice kind of like transactional relationship, and it kind of builds up a wee bit of a kind of a back and forth between us. Let me know the nuances of that song. That was significantly more powerful than I was expecting it to be. It was honestly astonishingly beautiful. Sad was my biggest takeaway, which is kind of simple. It's like a simplistic. It's like I've kind of narrowed it down to its most simplistic fucking thing. I just came away from it just feeling a bit sad about people's struggles, really. There's more that I could expand on that and go into like a big fucking monologue. That basically sums it up, really. I now understand why you all told me that I should be checking that one out. I get it. So what's the next one? Let me know. What's next on the list? I have been MARKABUSI, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed the video. And I'll see you next time.